I was running. I was doing high intensity interval training. I was trying to burn off this fat, but I checked my weight, and it was the same. After a week of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened here? AdventFit is a podcast that has a holistic approach to physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. In each episode, we share productive ways to live a healthier and happier lifestyle. Unlike other podcasts in this space, AdventFit gives you a comprehensive approach to fitness without the fluff for the everyday Christian. For the longest time, I was always that very slim, skinny guy, and everybody knew me for that. I would be wearing the really baggy pants, but
that was the style back then.
But I would have to tighten that belt so much. If that belt came off, that whole pants would just drop.
Yeah.
But when I went to college, well, not college, but when I went for my master's degree, I had a car. I was no longer involved with sports, and I started eating things that weren't vegan. Started adding eggs to my diet and drinking Maltas.
Was that college or was that?
It was my master's degree.
Oh, your master's, okay.
I started having fast food every day and all that stuff, and I started to pack on the pounds, and I needed to start losing that weight.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of you could probably relate to this desire to lose the fat.
A lot of people, yeah.
Maybe go back to what you were in high school, or maybe you never had that
or
chance.
your wedding day.
Yeah, exactly. And so I remember coming back to New York and deciding I wanted to lose the weight and things like that. And the first thing I decided to do was start to exercise, right? When you think about weight loss, you think about exercising.
Definitely important, but it's not the whole thing.
Well, what are some exercises that help for weight loss? I mean, some people do jump roping, cardio, but some of the best cardio is HIIT
High
training.
intensity, definitely. That's definitely the best one.
HIIT training.
Even after you finish, you're still burning calories.
Exactly. High intensity interval training. And as you said, after you're done, you're still burning because it just creates more of, what's that word? Metabolism is increasing your metabolism when you're doing that.
And jump rope is one of those exercises.
With high intensity interval training, you're burning 9 times the amount of calories than you would if you were just doing regular cardio running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
So you're doing technically less work. Because let me explain.
It is a lot of work, but
I mean, you're taking breaks.
Less time,
you're taking breaks.
Yeah.
You're taking breaks.
But
so
you're
instead of
definitely
running
out of
for
breath,
half an hour straight, for that half an hour, you're running at some parts, but then you're jogging or you're walking for other parts.
But the thing about it, it's still very, very hard. The reason why it's short is because you can't do that for long periods of time.
That's true.
You're running or sprinting as fast as you can. So
That's true.
The first time I did it, man.
Well, during that time, I was basically, I read about high intensity interval training, and I wanted to implement it. So I went to the local tracks, and I would run the straights, and I would walk the curves. Run the straight, walk the curve. And it was some intense exercises.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that's a little bit too intense. And maybe you just want to go walking.
Walking is one of the best exercises, though.
Absolutely.
One of the best.
There was one study done with women where the women, after 12 weeks, had lost more than 1 inch of their waist size. Wow. Now, maybe 1 inch doesn't sound like a lot because I just said the number 1, but 1 inch on your waist, you will see the difference. Trust me, there are going to be some pants that you're not going to be able to fit in if you grew an inch in your waist size. So that's huge just by walking. Everybody can walk.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, not everybody. Most people.
Yeah. Well, for those people who have a hard time walking, just going in the water and doing water exercises sometimes can be helpful. Outside of the cardio stuff, strength training. Because when you build muscle, when you build muscle, you're gonna have those muscles gonna burn more calories when you're doing nothing.
Burns fat. Muscle burns fat. Make sure you're strength training if you want to lose weight.
Exactly. It's going to raise your resting metabolic rate when you're not. That's talking about how many calories you burn when you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So although weight training is not burning as much calories in that moment as, let's say, a high intensity interval training, but for the long run, it will burn more calories when you build that muscle. And then And sometimes the fat that people are always concerned about is trying to lose that fat that's like under their arms, or the fat that's under their skin, right? That sub fat. But the visceral fat is the stuff that you got to really be worried about.
Yeah.
Visceral fat is that fat that's around your organs. That's very dangerous. That's stuff that's connected to diabetes and stuff like that.
You need some of it, but you don't need too much.
You don't want a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff clogging up your system. That type of stuff will give you heart disease. But they said that running and jogging is particularly very helpful for burning visceral fat. Now, time to guess. What activity do you think burns the most calories?
Swimming.
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Maybe sex?
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's up there.
Well, swimming is really high up there. It's actually tied. Swimming is tied with rock climbing.
Really?
Rock climbing. It's more. It burns more calories than basketball, soccer, volleyball, football.
Rock climbing is intense, though.
So swimming, breaststroke, swimming, and rock climbing are considered top-notch exercises for burning calories.
But since I can't swim, it's a good thing that I do rock climbing.
Yeah, man. Now there are things that are higher than it, but I want to say rock climbing because that's my thing. There's only a couple things that are more that burn more calories. The ones that are higher than it is handball, biking, and running.
I bike all the time. Handball? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, handball. And at first I thought I knew what handball was, but then I looked it up.
Yeah.
And handball is like, it looks like soccer, but you're holding like a small soccer ball in your hand, and you're running around this field and you're throwing it. I gotta actually, yeah, it's not. I thought that was it, but it's not. I gotta check out that sport. But besides that sport, the number one sport, is gonna be rock climbing. That's cool. There, so that's a nice, fun activity to do to burn calories. In fact, like I think rock climbing was 50% more calories than basketball. So if you think about how much calories you're thinking you're expending with basketball, you're doing that much more with these things. I was running. I was doing high intensity interval training. I was trying to burn off this fat, but I checked my weight, and it was the same. After a week of all that stuff. Yeah. I'm like, what happened here? And I thought to myself, you know what? If I got to get serious about this, then I need to start changing my diet. See, you could do all the exercise you want, but if your diet is not changing,
definitely,
you're not going to be doing much.
And also, you have to have your sleep. That's when all the change happens, in your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, and sleep is important as well. Yeah. I mean, because think about it like this. With biking, I just mentioned how biking is up there. Half an hour of like regular biking, the intense biking is a different story, but if half an hour of like regular biking burns 260 calories. Wow. One Snicker bar will undo that with 250 calories.
Yeah.
So imagine just you do exercise for half an hour and you eat one Snicker bar, all of that's completely undone.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you don't change your diet, you're going to be wasting your time with the exercise. Well, not completely wasting time, but you're going to be undoing a lot of it.
Yeah, don't reward yourself with some just junk food candy. If you want to have maybe a protein bar, but just a regular bar with 500 calories, it's not going to cut it.
So there's certain foods you gotta avoid. I mean, cookies, pastries, cake, ice cream, soda, juice. Basically, I'm talking about all those things with added sugar.
Yeah, for most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you never eat a cookie again.
Yeah.
But those added sugars, highly processed foods, boy, that's gonna really mess you up. Now, I said highly processed foods because just putting fruit in a blender and blending it is considered processed to a degree, but it's not processed the way it's factory manufactured, factory processed, Also, one of the foods or one of the things that you can consume that really messes you up in terms of gaining weight and fat, alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Now that's something you don't even want to do in moderation. Some cookies and cake, that's one thing, but alcohol, besides the whole fat thing, there's other things that come along with it.
Yeah.
If you just drop some of those items from your menu, you'll just see the fat starting to be burnt off just by simply having less calories that are being consumed.
And do it gradually. You don't just drop everything at one time, because you just go back to what you did before.
Exactly. And you want to replace it with something better.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just like be, well, if everything you were eating before were cheeseburgers and all of a sudden you're not eating anymore, but now you're not eating anything.
Yeah.
Obviously that doesn't make sense. You got to replace it with something better.
That's going to still fill you up.
Now, some of the best foods to help lose fat. And by the way, the reason why I keep saying fat as opposed to weight is because weight is everything. Weight is your water weight, your fat, your muscle. The goal isn't really to lose weight. It's to lose the fat.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to drastically cut down your calories, because if you do that, you'll lose lots of muscle as well.
Exactly. So the best foods to lose fat are things like asparagus. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Asparagus is disgusting.
I actually like it, though. I think it's not bad.
Oh, I'm talking about raw asparagus.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely disgusting.
Raw asparagus. Now, I do it because raw asparagus is a diuretic, which is it's a natural diuretic, which means that it expels urine, excess urine from your body. And that's why when you eat asparagus, your pee smells, right? It's getting rid of all those toxins. So if you want to get rid of bloatedness, if you have a lot of extra water weight on you, if you want to take a picture and you want to look a little bit more cut, asparagus, man. I'm telling you.
That's the cut technique.
That's right.
Before every show.
It's so disgusting. So if you're going to eat raw asparagus, I recommend you put it with some very strong flavored foods, like put it in like a banana smoothie or something, and put a lot of banana to counteract that asparagus. But asparagus is really going to help to cut off the water weight, but it's also going to help you to lose actual fat too. Avocado.
And those are delicious.
Now that's good.
With everything.
That's good. Avocado.
You can put it on anything. You shouldn't be eating that much pizza, but it can go on pizza. Not like pineapples. Pineapples do not go on pizza. It's delicious by itself.
I've had plenty of pineapples on pizza. Never had avocado on pizza. But avocado, you just started an argument probably in the comment section of this thing. But avocado is good is high in good fat. Now, one of the episodes, we'll talk more about good fat.
HDL and LDL.
We'll talk more about that in a couple episodes down the road. But avocado is a great thing to eat if you're trying to lose fat. Bananas, that high in potassium. Beets. Basically, any like natural whole food is good. Any fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, seeds. I got to plug in that raw diet, man. Those things are going to make the difference. So again, I was running around. I was trying to burn off the fat. It wasn't working. And I decided, let me try a raw diet. I kid you not. In 2 weeks, I had dropped off the weight that all this extra weight I had from college. I mean, my story goes beyond that because later on I gained more weight than what I had back then. And I needed to do something drastic. I needed to do months, but all those extra college or master's degree weight, I was able to drop a lot of it in just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, maybe even 3. But the point is that just in a couple of weeks of a raw diet, I was able to drop that fat quickly because of the lifestyle change, the dietary change. The battle is won in the kitchen, but now the big question people have is, how do you lose fat without losing muscle?
Yeah, like we talked about before. Keep your calories high, right? Not too high, not above maintenance, right? But you want to keep your calories low that you're below maintenance, but not too low. Don't cut it drastically, but that's how you lose muscle as well as fat.
Exactly. So people want to know what is the magic trick.
Yeah.
I want to burn off the fat, but I want to build muscle, or at least want to maintain the muscle I have.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tricky. Every time you lose weight, you're going to be losing a little bit of muscle, right?
For beginners, it's possible.
It is possible.
But when you get to intermediate level, you can't no longer do that anymore.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's another thing.
Yeah.
You just reminded me that if you have a lot of weight, extra weight, then burning fat is quicker, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about the same if you look at it as percentage, but obviously if the percentage of your weight is higher, your fat is higher, then you're going to burn more pounds of fat. But I think you can lose fat while maintaining the majority of your muscle. Yeah. And as you said, it's eating still enough calories.
And burning fat shows your muscle. So the more fat you burn, the more defined you look because you see the muscle.
I'd rather have 12 pounds of muscle in a certain area, but it's being seen, than 15 pounds of muscle in a certain area that's not seen.
Yeah.
You know? So part of the key is having quality protein.
Mm-hmm.
Protein from healthy sources. Now, I know you can get protein from chicken and other meats out there, and I'm not saying that you can't do that, but the better your protein source, the less things you're going to be adding with it. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to, like I said, I personally get my protein from nuts and grains and seeds. That's where I get most of my protein. But the point is, you want to try to you want to be able to eat a good amount of protein without having too much of unhealthy fats coming along with it.
And you can still get your protein from meat, lean meats, lean chicken, lean turkey, but in moderation.
Exactly. The closer you go to a Garden of Eden diet, the better it's going to be for you. Many of these episodes, we're going to keep going deeper. This was just kind of like an overview. We're going to talk more about a lot of these things more in detail in the episodes to come. So you got to follow us on AdventFit.org and subscribe to our email list so we can remind you about our podcast, send you additional information. You can actually contact me personally. You can find my contact information at WayneJamel.com.
And you can find me at Instagram.com/Mr. Woke. That's WHOKE.
And until then, I'm Wayne Jamel.
And I'm C. Jeffrey White. And the C is for cultivate, because change starts with you. And we'll see you next week, folks.